NFL, are you drunk?
We got wasted.
I want to get chocolate wasted.
Welcome to Kleschka Picks, everybody. I say that because the NFL this past week was crazy. Lots of crazy things that no one, oh my god, let's just get into it and I'll explain through each game. But before we get started, my record now, 39-24. So, Thursday game is the Buccaneers and the Patriots. The Buccaneers beat the Giants. The Giants are 0-4. They're seeming to become that team that's going to be pretty easy to beat. The Patriots, they lost for the second time already this season. That is shocking from the Patriots to the Panthers. Now, I take back what I said earlier in Kleschka Picks. I said the Panthers are playing easy opponents. That's why they have a good record. But you just went out and you beat the Patriots in Foxborough. That's hard to do. So I'm giving the Panthers credit where it's due. But back to this game. The Buccaneers and Patriots both have banged up defenses. Buccaneers is really banged up, and I think that's a cause for their losses that they have. And yeah, so I think the Patriots and their great offense with Brady, Gronk, and the rest of them, I think with this banged up defense that the Buccaneers have, they're going to be able to win this game 38-24. Also, by the way, if you watched my MLB playoffs predictions, on the scoreboard, I accidentally left the NFL logo in there. That is my bad. Obviously, it's going to be here for this week of Kleschka Picks, Week 5, because this is football. But I forgot to take it out and make it the MLB logo. That is my bad. I was just trying to get the video out so fast that I totally didn't notice. But anyways, let's continue. Next is the Seahawks and the Rams. What I've noticed from the Seahawks, whenever we go to play the Rams in their home, St. Louis, LA, we do not do good. But after last week, and I don't know what it was, in the second half against the Colts, we just blew up. Like, our offense was back. Our defense held them to the score they had in the first half. And so, even though the Rams are off to a good start, I think the Seahawks are still going to win this game. Although I think it's going to be very close, 17-14 Seahawks. The Bills in Cincinnati. Here is what I'm talking about from last week. The first one I mentioned was the Patriots losing. Now this one, the Bills beat the Broncos and then the Falcons back-to-back weeks. What? Who are the Bills? Like, what is going on here? And the Bengals beat the Browns, easy opponent. And I think if the Bills can beat the Broncos and then they can go and beat the Falcons at home, by the way, in Atlanta, then I think they can beat the Bengals. I think the Bills are going to win 27-17. The Jets and the Browns, like I said, the Browns just lost last week, no surprise. The Jets beat the Jaguars. The Jaguars are becoming a very hard team to predict. They go to London, they score 44 and almost shut out the Ravens, and then they lose on a game-winning field goal to the Jets. But I think the Jets, that's their second win in a row, and I think the Jets are going to beat the Browns, making it their third win in a row. I think they're going to win 30-20. All right, the Panthers and the Lions. Honestly, this was the hardest game for me to predict. Like I said, the Panthers went into Foxborough, and they beat the freaking Patriots. What? And the Lions played a very low-scoring game against the Vikings, just 14-7. That's it. And I think this is tough. Man, I feel like the Lions have a very good offense, and I feel like the Panthers are just hard to predict. They struggle. You don't know if they're going to be good. You don't know if they're going to be bad. And I feel like the Lions are going to take advantage of this defense, and they're going to win 24-20. But that's a hard one, but I'm going with that. Here's another hard one. The Colts and the 49ers. The 49ers played the Cardinals and lost in overtime. And the 49ers and the Colts. The 49ers played the Cardinals in overtime and lost. And the Colts played us, the Seahawks, and were demolished going into the second half. That's when we picked it up and started doing great. And I think this is also going to be a close game. Both these defenses are not so good. And I feel like the 49ers have the better offense, mainly because of Carlos Hyde. I feel like he's a huge part of that offense. I feel like that's going to help him a lot. I feel like it's going to be close. I think the 49ers will win, though, 23-20. The Titans and the Dolphins. The Titans were blown out by Houston, 57-14 or something like that. Some score like that. And then the Dolphins were also blown out. They didn't even score a single point against the Saints. Remember when everybody would laugh at the Saints' defense? I don't know about that anymore. Back-to-back weeks, they seem pretty good. And although it was the Dolphins, yeah, in London they got shut out 20-0. But this week, I think, is the Titans' week. I feel like the Titans are the better team. I feel like the Dolphins are struggling. I saw something of Jay Cutler getting upset about how the team's running. And so I think the Titans are more put together, and I feel like they're a better offense. I feel like they will win 28-13. The Chargers and the Giants, both of these teams lost last week, and both of these teams are 0-4, which means one of them is going to get a win, so congratulations. But I feel like the Giants are struggling big time. I feel like the Chargers, even though they could be struggling also, have been closer to wins. First 2 weeks they could have won. They could have gone to overtime with the Broncos in week 1, I think it was, and the kicker missed it. Same thing with the Dolphins. Kicker missed it. So they could have won games, but they just missed it by that much. And the Giants, yeah, I just think they're struggling. The Giants are, like, they have a good offense, but they don't know how to use it, I feel like. Anyways, I feel like the Chargers are the better team, and they're going to be the team that gets the win and doesn't have any, is not the team with no wins anymore. So I think the final score will be 20 for the Chargers and 14 for the Giants. Cardinals and Eagles. Eagles beat the Chargers last week, and like I said, the Cardinals beat the 49ers. I feel like the Cardinals had a bit of an easier opponent with the 49ers, and I feel like the Eagles are doing pretty good this year, and I feel like they're going to have a pretty good game against the Cardinals. I feel like they're the better team. LeGarrette Blount stepped up last week after Darren Sproles getting injured. I feel like the Eagles will win 24-17. The Steelers and the Jaguars, like I said, Jaguars lost to the Jets in a close game, and the Steelers beat the Ravens. Steelers are such a good offense. Ben struggles from time to time, but you got Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, and there's other names on that team that are stepping up and will be good in the future for them. And Jacksonville is just up and down this season like crazy. But I don't see them being able to be a team like the Steelers. They're pretty good on defense this year. And like I said, their offense is just great. So I see the Steelers winning 27-10. The Ravens and the Raiders. The Raiders are now Derek Carr-less. That makes sense? Basically what I'm saying is they don't have Derek Carr for a good number of weeks. And the Ravens have also been up and down this season in predicting. And I don't think the Raiders can win without Derek Carr, honestly. So in the defense it's pretty good, but it's not amazing. But without Derek Carr, I think the Ravens are going to get this win. And I think they're going to win 19-13. The Packers and the Cowboys. The Cowboys lost to the Rams. What? Like, see what I'm saying here? What is going on? Lost to the Rams. The Packers beat the Bears. That was probably pretty easy for them. Although they did lose Ty Montgomery in that game to broken ribs. And I think with Dallas losing to the Rams, they lost to the Broncos. And if you lose to the Rams, and I mean the Broncos are a good team, but the Packers are a great team. So I feel like they're going to beat the Cowboys 33-24. The Chiefs and the Texans. Texans offense exploded last week. The Chiefs did very well against a good team in the Redskins and got a win to remain undefeated. And I feel like, I don't know what was going on with Houston last week. If this is here to stay, that kind of offense, then I will predict them to be better and maybe get more wins in the future. But I feel like since, KC's undefeated, they got a good defense. Their offense is great. They're finally using it correctly. And I think that's going to get them the win, 24-19. And finally, we have the Vikings and the Bears. The Bears, like I said, lost to the Packers. And the Vikings lost to the Lions. And I don't know what happened with the Vikings offense last week. It's been great for weeks, and it just kind of went away last week. And the Bears looked pretty embarrassing last week. Multiple turnovers so early. And I think this is going to be an easy week for Minnesota. I think they're going to win 30-17. All right, and the bye weeks start this week. The Falcons are on a bye, the Broncos, Saints, and Redskins. So if you do not hear your team, that is why. Thank you, everybody, for watching Kleschka Picks Week 5. Like in the MLB Playoffs video, I hope to not screw up again like that. I'm so sorry. That is my bad. But can't wait to see you guys in Week 6. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Audio